Okay, so now you guys have the underlying process of training and what goes on to that. So I'm going to talk specifically about Buddy and his training while he's been here. He's had a couple of different trainers. Quinn started, I'll talk a little bit about him initially, and then myself. And then Danny is another rehabilitator, and on the weekend days when I'm not here, she helped train as well. Now Claire is in that spot, so he's always been with a couple of different people. We try to have a primary and a secondary, so currently I'm the primary trainer for Buddy. So I just want to kind of go along with the time that he's had here and his experiences, things that have shaped him as an Eagle, things that have shaped our training, that particular Eagle. So when Buddy came here, obviously he was young and he had the pox, so we actually had to hand feed him with tweezers, which was a really, really beneficial thing in hindsight because he took to it readily. He was not concerned about it at all, which was nice. He was already trusting, and that's how we do it now. So it is, in hindsight, it was fantastic that that happened. So that this is all completely routine and normal. This does not faze him a bit. And this is how we use the tweezers to feed him now. We did go through a phase of feeding him off the glove just to get him a little more used to us, a little more closer to the glove, things like that. But now he's back to being fed with the tweezers, and he's completely fine with it. I was here when Buddy came in. He's a little older than when he first came in, but this is just to show the consistency. It's really good to have consistency with any animal that you're training. Again, like Claire mentioned before, we try to do the exact same thing. But it's also good to have the same people. So I've been working with Buddy even when he wasn't being trained. I fed him every day. He knows my face. So it makes him a little more comfortable in his surroundings and a little more comfortable knowing that he's going to be asked to be done, to do something, especially from somebody who's been there from the start. Claire talked a lot about trust as well. You'll notice here in this picture I don't have giant big Eagle gloves on. He's not flying at the door to get away from me. He's letting me open his mouth and take his medicine like a good little eagle. So he is very trusting, and that is a really good thing. Again, he has the perfect makings of a great training bird. A good glove bird, a good possibly flight bird, things like that. So if he has the trust going, we have the consistency for him, and he has the hand feeding, which is key.
We remember that.
Yes. So you'll notice that some of this is repeat pictures, but they're some of our favorites. Basically, this is just a demonstration that he is becoming comfortable in his surroundings. And this is really good, obviously, when animals bathe or preen, in front of people especially, it means that they're comfortable. It shows their comfort level. With Buddy and some other animals, sometimes it is a sort of a negative thing because they get so comfortable that they start to become protective and possessive of their surroundings. We did go through a little bout of that with Buddy with his new cage. He loved it so much that he didn't want anybody else coming in. So we just had to work through it. We walked around the cage, touched everything. Like, not yours, this is ours, you're going to share. We're going to do this together. So again, being comfortable is great. It really means that he is happy where he is. But also we need to show him that he can't just have it to himself. Since Buddy has been here, obviously he's been here for quite some time, and since he was young, but he's constantly been around people and other animals. So he's developed an appreciation for company. So he really is a social bird. He likes it when people pay attention to him. Moving to his new cage in the front, he really enjoyed right off the bat. He had no problems with school groups coming through, being the center of attention. He enjoyed being stared at, looked at, and just awed. And everybody was just he's a beautiful bird. So he would just come right to the front and be happy to meet. This is also really good because, again, he is comfortable around groups of people. So we'll see when he doesn't have that fencing in between, something could change, though. So these are things we have to think about because right now he feels safe. He feels safe in his home and nobody can get to him. Well, that's what we have to work on with the trust. We are not going to let anything happen. So when we go in there, he has to believe that from us every time we do training. And then this is also, again, a double-edged sword with them being so comfortable around people, is that they don't have a sense of fear around you. And so with Buddy, that's something that we have to think about when we go in there, because when he's in a bad mood, he's not afraid to show you. And other eagles, for example, would run away from you, would step back. He steps forward, and then you step back. Just a little bit. So he can become very bold and assertive when he's in those moods. He's a little moody, a little fickle. So sometimes he likes you. Sometimes he let's play, let's do things. And so that's great. He can be a very sweet bird. He's very playful, he's very thoughtful, and so being with him every day is really a treat. Just to see kind of his interactions, his learning process, everything. But then sometimes he might not like you, and he gives that look.
Eagle eye.
Yes, that's perfect. So he does like certain people better than others. In the beginning, he actually didn't like men very much. And a man took him from the nest. A man is operating on him, things like that. So when Quinn was his trainer, we had to work through that. He actually would not let Quinn in the door at all. He would fly at the door. Quinn would start feeding him kind of fruit, things like that. And it did change a little bit when I started training him, simply because I was a woman instead. And I noticed that also because I have quite a stubborn streak as well, and so I opened that door, stepped in, and he would fly around and be angry, and I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. And it seemed to make an impression on him because he stopped, and everything, was like, okay, and then we started working and touching and everything like that.
And how was he with men?
He is actually okay. I mean, he doesn't have a male trainer, but he doesn't get upset when they are around his cage or walking furniture or anything like that. So,
I have a question.
yeah.
Will you be the one that takes him to the schools?
I do not know. That's why Claire is doing it as well, because one of our goals is to have all the birds used to different people. So it initially starts off with the one person with trust and consistency and all of that we spoke about before. But then having the various people step in, that is really important, just because then they know that they'll be comfortable and safe with everyone. I do rehab as my job here, and so I don't go out to the schools. And there'll be other programs Ed will take in, various things like that. We just wanted to get him prepared for everything. So throughout his training as well, Buddy is just kind of grew into himself. I kind of think of him as a St. Bernard lapdog. He has no idea how big and how strong he is. He has no idea. We have an idea. He has no idea. He's never injured anyone. He's never tried to. He doesn't close his talons around. Again, he's very sweet, even when he's in a bad mood. He doesn't go for you. He kind of flies about and just kind of, he does that. He looks at you. He stares you down. That kind of thing.
So you've never been afraid?
He's very gentle. Oh, yeah. He is very gentle, but he's still an eagle. And I know what he can do, but he's never done it. But he might. You have to keep that balance of like trust, respect. Like he respects me, I respect him, because he's got talents and I don't. So with his handicap, we don't necessarily have to be as afraid of his beak as his talons. His beak isn't that sharp, although it does create quite a pinch. So it can hurt with just a pinch. But his talons are really what we need to watch out for, because they are quite sharp, and he does grip and